Hey everyone, this is Michael and welcome back to Play on Gamer. Today's recording looks back at Google's Project Stream towards the present in Google Stadia. This episode marks my return to the podcast world since December 2018. I'll be back rarely from now on. I'll be fading out the music now and I'll be back in a few seconds to start the show. In October 2018, Google's Project Stream brought forth a test to present a new way to play AAA games. A number of participants were able to play Ubisoft's Quebec Assassin's Creed Odyssey for free over the desktop version of Google Chrome. According to Google, the ability to stream the latest Assassin's Creed game will be achievable over Chrome browser with just a minimum stable interconnection of 25 megabytes per second. Playing games at 1080p, in stereo, and at 60 frames per second on Google's Project Stream is not an issue. On YouTube, I viewed live video recordings from IGN and GameSpot. And I was amazed that Project Stream does indeed stream a great looking Console Plus version, meaning near looking quality PlayStation Pro or Xbox One version of Odyssey, with close to unnoticeable input lag according to the reviewers at GameSpot. Both IGN and GameStop test out the service on their gigabyte internet connection. Now, the key things to keep in mind regarding streaming of either video and now gaming is that smooth frame rate and great picture quality HDR graphics depends on your internet speed and bandwidth. Internet bandwidth means how much data can be downloaded or uploaded from your device. Internet speed means how fast data can be downloaded or uploaded on your device. Google Stadia, which was announced at GDC 2019, is a gaming platform and not a console as was rumored. From Google for playing AAA video games across all kinds of screens. Google's target for Stadia is resolutions up to 4K and 60 frames per second with HDR and surround sound. Google has a dedicated controller for Stadia, which is referred to as the Stadia controller. From the Stadia controller, a direct connection is made to Google's data center through Wi-Fi. According to Google, gamers wanted this from a controller, and Google believes it's for the best possible gaming performance. As of March 20th, 2019, this device has not been authorized or required by the rules of the FCC. So as of now, this version of the controller that they showed is not allowed to be sold until further authorization is obtained. Now, a presentation during the conference is starting a game on one screen and moving that game across multiple devices, with the game state being remembered and booted in seconds on any screen chosen by the user was impressive. But keep in mind that this is because high-speed internet connection is needed for this ability. The interaction between Stadia and YouTube could bring forth innovative ways for developers and publishers to motivate people to play their video games. A demonstration showed a game advertisement on YouTube with a play now button to instantly play the game on Stadia. If you watch one of your favorite creators playing the game, you will also see the play now button. Probably the most interesting point of Stadia is the cloud. Because all the heavy work and storage of data is in the cloud, there's no need to download anything more because the game is streamed to you. Now, what I found interesting is Google revealed the specs behind Stadia, which houses a custom AMD x86 CPU and GPU at 10.7 teraflops, which outboasts what's currently in the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One. It's going to be a powerhouse when also knowing that developers that release games on Stadia will be able to access multiple GPUs if they need to. The only problem is gamers will never own the Stadia hardware. But the good thing is, rumors that the next generation consoles from Sony and Microsoft have GPUs between 12 and 14 teraflops. Now, finishing up with the conference, Google announced that 4K HDR at 60 frames per second is dependent on your bandwidth, and also 8K at 120 frames per second will be available someday. Most importantly, left out of this conference is the price for the service and the full list of publishers for the service. Will it be subscription based like Netflix, or will Google require you to pay the full retail price of each game? Nobody knows. The minimum internet requirements to hit 1080p stereo and 60 frames per second is 25 megabytes per second, just as with Project Stream. Now with 4K HDR surround sound and 60 frames per second, Google has said that the minimum requirements will be at 30 megabytes per second. 720p will be offered for slower connections. Google is spending hundreds of millions of dollars to get the service up and maintained daily for launch in 2019 for the US, Canada, UK, and much of Europe. As for further announcements of Stadia, we should hear more information during E3 2019. Now, before I end, I'd just like to say a few things. So, I'm seeing some videos on YouTube. A lot of creators are disappointed about Stadia, and as far as I know about Stadia, as looking back at Project Stream, like it works. So I think the only problem with Stadia is the support from developers. Like, so far, for sure we know that Ubisoft is going to be on board. I believe the company that showed off Doom, I forgot who owns Doom. It's either ID Interactive or maybe Epic Games owns Doom, but yeah, they're coming as support. So we'll see which other developers jump on the Stadia bandwagon. But as for gaming streaming platform, Stadia looks pretty interesting, and I'm not sour on the idea of playing games over the cloud. I actually think it's pretty cool. So that's it for this week's episode of Play on Gamer, and I'll see you next week.